So like, do you mind if we like start off like this is Jason?
Go ahead, yo.
We're all you're gonna see it. Yeah, just he doesn't have.
I'm here.
Okay, cool.
I am here.
Oh wait, why you guys didn't tell me I got my bag on? Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of
Cabernet&Chaos.
Yeah, let's get a cheers in. Yes. Welcome back to another episode. As you guys can see, we have yet another special guest. This is Jason, also known as
Mr. Briggs.
Also known as Shamba and my father.
So we are absolutely grateful that you are here with us today. We're so excited.
Having me, man. It's an honor to be here. What do you mean? Like, you guys are like my 3 daughters.
I know that's right.
Literally. No, but for real. Literally.
I actually knew you before Pebbles.
I know that.
Okay, relax.
Remember
Don't do that.
Remember that. So, yeah. No questions are off limit.
No.
Okay, cool.
Wow, that's scary. But
It's called Cabernet&Chaos for like Rios.
Yeah.
For Rios.
I was like, wait, what? Hold up. Like,
For Rios.
For a reason. So we're not gonna start off a bit chaotic, but
we'll get there.
at some point it might get a little
Personal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's just jump right into it. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So can you paint a picture for us of like your youth growing up in Little Burgundy?
First, as that question you asked me, I always like to respond right away as I'm a proud product of my hood, of my environment. So growing up was fun. You know what I'm saying? People looking from the outside in, we might call it dangerous, might call it chaotic, or whatever you want to call it. But to me, every time I think of Bergs, I always think of family. I was raised by my neighborhood, not just my parents. Like I had everywhere in the hood, like you had an aunt, you had an uncle, you had a cousin, you had a friend, you know, my mom's best friends or whoever. You always had somewhere to go where, you know, growing up was a family environment, which, you know, I think is missing in a lot of hoods today.
Absolutely. So it's saying all that, like what's maybe a moment or what made it the heartbeat of the Black community?
The NCC, the community center, man. It was just
R.I.P. to the NCC.
Yeah, like that. Like just imagine, I was tap dancing in the NCC.
Wow,
that's beautiful though.
Yeah.
In the NCC, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is what people were doing. Like my dad used to bring me to the gym that was upstairs. Like from I was like 4 or 5 years old, I just remember that's where you only seen Black people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like people not like shooting each other. You seen unity. You seen
Absolutely.
your father's friends. You seen our friends. You see the people, your peers that you grew up with. Like we went to a daycare there. That was my first daycare. Was in NCC. You know, so that when I think of the hood, like I think of NCC was what made everybody from the hood who got the chance to experience the NCC because it closed. You know, you guys didn't get the chance to experience that real. That was the community center before the Youth in Motion, before the bumps, before the Tyndales. Tyndale was around still. It was around the same time, but that was home outside of home.
Yeah.
When you weren't in the park,
You were there.
in the NCC.
What do you feel like are some of Little Burgundy's shortcomings? Like especially around that time, and then like going into like now, but mostly like when you were growing up. As you grew up, what do you think were some of the shortcomings?
Like in which way? Like what? Halt to certain shit or?
Yeah, exactly. Like what do you think? Like
drugs, crack, the 80s.
Oh yeah, true. Crack in the 80s.
Yeah,
that was real though.
Yeah,
like you guys don't understand how it changed so many OGs,
Oh,
so
I hear
many,
stories.
Yeah,
like so
I've
many
heard.
people were on top of their game.
And
Like-
it just took them down.
Like before that hit, there were so many, not just the OGs, so many people who were like had it.
Yeah.
Like you seen people with the first Rolls Royce, with the
Damn.
first
That's
Corvettes,
crazy.
with the, and then like crack comes and
Mm-hmm.
it's gone. Not for everybody, but
A lot.
70%
Yeah,
of like of the hood.
Yeah.
Like you looked up to was like, yo, you're a fiend now? Like
Damn.
Yeah.
you know, like even us growing up, you didn't really like 6, 7, 8, 10. You're not really grasping what's going on. You know,
Mhm.
like we're used to see like weed in our household is
Mhm.
not frowned upon. That's
Yeah.
the normal thing. So when
Yeah.
you see people smoking weed, you're like that. But when you see
Yeah.
like you're zooted now and you're walking
not
around
allowed.
just
So sad.
looking out like what the hell? What is that? Now you start to realize it's not cocaine no more because you know about
It's- yeah.
cocaine. Like, and it's sad to say, cocaine. If you didn't do cocaine back then, you weren't cool. Like it was the cool shit to do cocaine. That's why you seen so many people transition to that crack
Yeah.
so easy. It was just
Because that was like the next thing.
It was
Like
a
that was the
Yeah.
next cool. Like that was the next thing on the block,
you know, like
basically.
if you had money, you had crack. You went and bought the crack now. Now you can
You're
buy
smoking
but
it.
all of that money, like I'm telling you, we got uncles and OGs who had like hundreds of thousands of dollars back in the 80s, which would have been equivalent to like a couple of mils now.
Yeah.
And like, it's gone. Like,
Yeah.
gone, man.
And
Like,
it's a quicker high too.
very quick,
very
but it
quick.
doesn't last.
And then you're
Like, you
chasing
know,
it.
you're
You
chasing
continue.
But
that
isn't
first-
it cheaper than Coke?
It's the same thing.
I know, but in price wise though, wouldn't
No.
it be technically cheaper?
No, because crack was a new thing, so it was
Oh, so-
higher
okay.
than times. Like, but it's free, but you're cooking cocaine to become crack.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was cheaper to buy the coke and then rock it up for now. You can get that black that coke. Is, not that I ever experienced it. No, I'm just saying I think nothing ever went up this nose, and it's that you know. But,
Disclaimer.
you know. But you see the effects. Like you see, like I seen friends doing lines of coke. Like it was nothing. Okay, I'm tired. Okay, let's go. It's time to party. Yo, like you know, weed's our limit. Like, but you guys look at things. That was in high school. You know, like it was kids were doing, but you weren't like as much as like yo, you're basing. No, you're doing your coke. Yo, that's you. You know, WPP, WPT, white people things. That's what we used to say back then. You know what I'm saying? But
no, but it still is like that though.
you know,
like people
but back then you had to have money to do these drugs.
Yeah.
So it was like you seen Scarface, you seen how it was. It's in all of the 70s movies. It's glamorized from the 70s to the 80s. Then it started shifting. Then we started seeing with Pookie.
Oh my God, New Jack City.
And he said, "Now they're showing you." Like I think that's one of the first movies.
Yeah.
He's showing you, man.
But it's really happening when they're
you know, and now you're seeing that transition. That's real shit.
Yeah.
And we seen that, and I seen that firsthand in the hood. Like I've seen people give up their groceries, give up this shit for this rock. When that's probably a bird. That's probably it. Is the drugs because. Violence is everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when they didn't pit the liquor stores and the drugs in Westmount, Hampstead, or none of these places, they pit it in the hood.
Burgundy,
Yeah, no, I love that you say that because even with my grandmother, like that's a lot that she instilled within me, you know, and even especially my grandfather too. Like I love that he was like real and authentic with me about his life growing up and where he was and how he started smoking crack and how he lost everything and needed to come back. You know?
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, but like even my grandfather, like he didn't fuck with that. So it's like if you came around him, like he would get so irate if you had any dealings with it or anything like that. And I never understood, you know,
and
until then.
And God rest his soul, he was one of the reasons why the people who say, "Oh, I can't quit, I can't." Kasha was, you see, you know your grandfather. My grandfather was the best of what he did.
Yeah.
So when he was doing dope,
he was
doing dope right. When he was selling dope, he was doing dope.
Yeah.
But when he decided to stop, I can't remember exactly what year, but I just remember the one thing that he went to Jamaica and went to Hellshire and washed off himself and came back. That was it. Cold turkey. Not just going to rehab. And he did that shit cold turkey. Yeah. But like when you're telling me you can't stop and you have some of the worst I seen him do some of the worst drugs, and now you're clean for the last 40 years. You can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
Now he didn't
Yeah.
want to be around it. Like,
Yeah.
so when you tell me you don't got the willpower to
It's
quit,
a choice. It's a choice that you don't want to do it. You just
Uncle
wanna...
Tanny, like, you don't understand. Like, these are guys who, and I can say it now. There's not to
it's
disrespect, nothing. It's all about
Yeah.
love, because these are people I admire that you were at your worst. And now you're at your
life.
best. You stop.
Yeah.
Like one of the hardest drugs in the world.
It is.
Yeah,
It's really
literally.
hard.
And now you went from us not wanting to be around to where now you're a grandfather, you're a great grandfather.
Yeah.
You're around love now because
Absolutely.
you changed yourself. Like, so, you know, but it was the 80s were,
It was a hard
90s
time.
were like, you know, that's like, again, I said every hood has violence, but that led to violence. That led to the shootings, to the informers, to our documentaries on all of the hood of people ratting on TV, kicking in the door, Pablo, Batman. That's all drugs.
Yeah.
That's all drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So with legends coming out of the neighborhood like Oscar Peterson and Oliver Jones, do you have any moments or any venues that really stick into your mind?
That's a really good question. Or like influenced you?
Yeah.
Union United Church.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's what I think I first seen Oliver Jones play was in the church. But just knowing that certain Nelson Mandela came there and that my parents got married there, and then I got married there, like that's probably, besides the NCC, it's the Union United Church, one of the pillars. Like, so many people went through there. That made so many good singers and artists, and they don't get recognized enough, you know. But
absolutely,
yeah, probably Union United Church.
My grandparents got married there too, so
that was the spot. Like, and we had other churches, like we had Bible Way, we had Richmond.
Yeah, what's the pastor there?
The Reverend Gray?
Yeah.
Reverend Gray, right?
Reverend Gray was there for a
Yeah.
minute, yeah. I just can't remember the name of the church right now.
I didn't even know that was an.
Yeah,
it was called the Richmond.
Right now it's
Yeah.
called the Richmond.
But that's what people call it now.
Yeah, the Richmond. Yeah.
The Richmond. You can book it. They are available.
Like, not black owned, but they're available.
Not that we're, you know, not that they're sponsoring the show and nothing. So
At all.
Yeah.
But it's actually crazy how it's like a mosque too.
Yeah, it's a mosque at the bottom.
It's a mosque.
Yeah,
It's a
because I went to a
mosque at
Sweet
the
16
bottom.
there. You remember Brianna from Roslyn?
Mhm.
She had her Sweet 16 there, and like as you were going in, there was like
That's where my
people
friends go
coming
and
in to
pray.
pray, and I was like, "Oh no, it's a Sweet 16." He's like, "No, but there's a mosque there," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh."
On the side, so
Yeah,
on the it's the church, and then on the side, like
is
as
the
if you're
mosque.
going towards the sports center, there's like a little door, and that's the mosque.
Yeah.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, like that's where like
Yeah.
most of my friends go and pray. Because that's the closest one in the
was a
hood.
church at one time.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, true.
UNIA was a church?
Yeah, UNIA was a
Yeah.
church. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I learned.
like downstairs they made it to a church, and you know.
Speaking of, even though like, well, not UNIA specifically, but you were talking about how like, you know, you'd walk around and seeing crackheads and stuff like that, like people, you know, and now it's coming back.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
If you go to Atwater
well,
right now,
not
if you go to Atwater right now, right across the street from the market where the gas station is, you will literally
safety injection
see
site.
people smoking
Yep.
crack
Mhm.
out of the pipe.
I was just in the park with Lola today, and
Yeah.
Lola was in the back, and I couldn't find her, and I went in the back, and the guy was smoking crack,
Yeah.
and he was just staring at. I had to take her out of the park. 'cause I was
So
But nobody's even saying nothing that, not one, they put up the center there, but two, right next to an elementary school.
yeah, but they
100
petitioned
meters.
they
did a
petitioned their
petition for that,
petition
though,
to
yeah.
get it shut down because
You know,
it's
but-
next to an elementary school.
Yeah.
Oh my
But,
goodness.
you know, the difference between then and now, I knew the crackheads then.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
That's the difference.
Now it's
Like,
like
now it's
everybody.
Now they're more dangerous.
It's a free for all.
And now you're stereotyping calling them crackheads. Because
Yeah.
me, I'm gonna call them Fenty heads or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
because
It's true.
It's level. There's literally levels to it.
Like,
Like,
now,
it's
bad.
There's one guy I know it ain't crack. There's something
you know?
different.
Yeah,
he's
that guy
smoking.
is be walking.
Yeah, he
There's
be
so
walking
many
around.
different
Yeah.
drugs now. Like where you're
Yeah.
like, okay, you're not even a crackhead no more. What are you?
The zombie
There's
drug.
one guy that be
and-
walking down the street with the,
Yeah.
the tattoos on
You know,
his
you're
neck.
talking, you're screaming to yourself,
Yeah.
like you know,
It's
it's like it's
scary.
just and it just is disrespectful that, and it's fucked up to say, but when it's black in the hood, you're
You're
going
crackhead.
after all of the drug dealers.
Absolutely.
But when it's because it's predominantly white over there,
Yeah.
go ahead,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
your thing.
Yeah.
Go
Give
It's
you
all
free
right.
needles.
Like, here you go.
Yeah,
Go do your
it's
jobs
true.
inside and
Yeah.
come outside and harass the kids and piss in front of the kids and so everybody wants to say, yeah, change, but shit don't change. Shit change a little bit, but it's time still repeats itself.
For sure.
Like just in a different cycle.
But like considering like now you are a pillar to the community. Well,
thank you.
From what the streets say, from what the museums say and all. What do you feel like, and we're going to touch more about the other stuff, but what do you feel like with gentrification and everything now, what do you feel like our community has lost?
Just what you said. Because of the gentrification, we've lost now, like, there's a difference in the hood and the community. Hood is short for neighborhood, so it's your quartier, as you say in French. The difference that we had as Bergs, we were a community because everybody lived in that hood and everybody knew each other. So now the community vibe is kind of gone because there's no, you can walk down, before you couldn't walk down Richmond, St. Martin, the senior, Q Block, and not see somebody you do not know. Now you can walk, Workman, Lanabu. Now if you walk in the back of Workman, DeLille, there's a good 80% chance you might not see, like, you know how hard it is for me to walk by 2105 and not see you guys, like, but you got to realize, like, time is, so now we're going to walk by there and not know who's in there.
Yeah. I just did that.
It's crazy that I'm walking down St. Jacques. I'm born in 1965, but I can't tell you nobody across the street.
Okay.
Now, before it was, I could tell you who's in apartment 1 to 15, who's on Q Block, who's on Croissant. Now you don't know. But at the same time, it's still multicultural now. So there's still a sense of
diversity,
but not community.
Yeah.
Like, there's community if there's a barbecue in the park, if there's a this and that. But one thing I don't like about us as Black people who are in Canada, whatever, we will march, and no disrespect to George Floyd, rest in peace. We'll march for George Floyd here, but we won't march for one of our own who will get killed in the hood and stand up as a community in the hood.
It's true.
Me included, whatever it is, but we're not doing that. But we're quick to jump on, oh, Diddy's of this, Diddy's of that. But what about the pedophiles in our own community that you're not saying nothing about? So it's kind of hypocritical, us, but that's where the community kind of.
Yeah, I had a question on gentrification, but you kind of like just filled it all in for me, because
it's sad, but we've seen it coming. And so now that you said that, because gentrification just brought me back to you and you're not being taught, because I do watch the podcast. Don't think I'm just
oh my gosh.
So
I
agree on certain things that you would say, that because I agree you were self-taught because of certain situations and all of that. You taught yourself a lot, but at the same time, our parents weren't taught certain things to teach us.
Absolutely.
It's true.
So
I agree.
I'm glad that you are breaking
generational curses.
Curses of you self-teaching, because I know you're going to self-teach your future kids or whatever. But me not teaching you certain things, like you said, your mom, but the government and all of that. Us it's more of, I'm in such an overprotective mode of having girls, as you always point out, to having Jake, but we're not thinking about having those conversations. We're thinking about telling you, yo, you better watch out for that fuck nigga who's trying to do and all of that. That's more of our mind. But you are right in the sense that we have to start teaching what we didn't know that we know now before it's not too late. But a lot of times we weren't taught to teach you guys. Because
it's true.
It was
but you're a product of your environment as well. So if you weren't taught something, and I know, for example, my grandparents or whatever, they weren't doing certain things, I can't expect you, no matter what. Like, I know some people be like, oh, like, some people blame their parents for not learning certain things and not doing this, or saying I should have known better. But for me, how I started to look at it is, I can't blame you if you weren't taught that. Who am I to judge you if you yourself didn't learn that? And that's why I say, like, a lot of things you have to teach yourself, because it's just like, you can't necessarily rely on your parents to an extent, especially with this generation now, and how technology and all these things have evolved. I can't expect you to teach me certain things when you didn't go through that as a kid. You weren't in the Bitcoin and the financial literacy. That wasn't the time. You guys were getting married young and figuring it out on the go, and inflation wasn't inflation. But now we're living in a different time, so we can't blame you. I don't feel like it's a blame thing, and it should never be a blame thing, because we grew up, it's a different time, a way different time. You went from like you guys said, crack and all this stuff and that being glorified to now we're in a whole different generation where Molly and Bitcoin and, you know, all these different drugs and all these different things are fentanyl. Like these are new things, right? So it's like, how could you have warned me or taught me certain things when it wasn't there to be taught?
Absolutely.
Facts. I like that.
That's the truth though, right? So, and even it's like when you hear people talk about it too, when they blame their parents, like you say, like you have to stop and be like, yo, like they're a product of their environment for real. You know what I'm saying? And the goal in life is always to be better than the last generation. So at the end of the day, like you did your best
with what they had. Exactly.
And she's coming to be better than you. And it should
that's
never
what you
be.
Want.
That's what you want,
exactly
right?
What you want.
And it sucks because there is some parents out there that like feel animosity or jealousy because their kids are doing better than them,
that's
right?
Crazy.
So it's good to know that like you even watch and you could see things and you could give constructive criticism and also take what she's saying too to learn from her as well. Right?
I'll ask my daughter anything if I don't know it. I don't have no shame in thinking that just because I'm here longer than you that I know more than you. I might be more experienced.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean that I necessarily know more than anybody who's younger than me.
Absolutely.
No, that's just you learn from experience and you. Before I always said it's better you learn something new every day.
My grandpa used to always say that.
Absolutely.
They make this joke. I was today years old when I
literally.
You learn things every day. You learn something new every day.
Absolutely. No, I absolutely agree.
So you call yourself Mr. Bergs, right?
I was called Mr. Bergs.
Okay.
Someone gave that. I am here. I'm like, no.
Okay, I thought you coined it yourself.
No,
you called him that. Shamba's the one who called him that.
Okay. But it's okay.
The first person was Trevor. Trevor Williams. It was like one of the people was like, yo, he said the mayor of Bergs, hey, Mr. Bergs. And I was like,
that's
I
so
like
him.
that. Like I just
and you ran with it.
Yeah.
So I know you guys. Well, you have you're in an exhibition at the McCord Museum. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
It's still crazy. Like
I know.
Like when I even hearing you say that, like the exhibition, you in a museum. Like I sometimes like I always ask that question, like, why me? Like what? But you know, the situation of how shout out Andrew Jackson. He was a photographer, the videographer.
Shout out to you.
Shout out.
He came to me one day. I was in Burnett doing I was talking. The guy asked me to come talk for defunding the police, talking about experience growing up with the police. And after that, he came and talked to me. I was like, yo, several people told me to come and talk to you because I'm from England. I just moved and I punched in. Where's the black community of Montreal? And Little Burgundy came up and he wanted to do a portrait and he talked to me. And I'm like, okay. But you know when you're like, I felt the energy from it. The energy was awesome right away. But it's like, okay, yeah, let's see where this goes. It's not gonna, you know, you're gonna take a couple of pictures, whatever. Man, so he's taking pictures, starting to do video. I go to Jamaica every January. He's like, yo, I'm in Jamaica. What? I'm in Jamaica. Yeah, okay. Boom, we go do some footage in Jamaica. Next thing you know, he's like, yo, I got the call from the museum. Maybe we got to rush it up because they're going to open it up for Black History. I'm like, Andrew, you're kidding me, right? Like this is for real? Like, and he's like, yo, I told you. Boom, go to the opening. I shit's in the museum.
Wow.
Like that was so mind blowing. Like it's such an honor and such a, especially when. Like, no, like, I don't care what anybody's, I don't do this shit for that. It wasn't, like, none of my hood wasn't for this, what happened, but, like, to see us, my family, like, I walked in there, I'm chilling, like, you know, I'm playing it cool, like, we're doing that thing. As soon as I walked in, I seen a picture of my mom and then me and Pebble. Man, shoot!
Oh.
Started crying and
We're
shit.
gonna drop
like,
the clip
like,
right here.
Crying?
No, I have the
No.
picture. I wish I was working.
but you know, like
Yeah.
it just like that moment was like, yeah, no matter what happened in my life, whatever I did, my kids and people will go and see this or know what I was in, be like, yeah, he changed his life and he ended up doing good by his hood. Like that's like it's still like going there, like
surreal.
it's still surreal. Like, even hearing about like no one is going to be there till it wasn't. It's in there for 6 months, from February to September. Like,
Make sure you guys check it out.
What's the location?
McCord Museum on Sherbrooke. I think the address.
I can drop the link.
We're gonna drop it.
Yeah,
I can
drop
drop
it.
the address.
We're
The
dropping
link will be right here.
So yeah. So I also heard that you organize like a men's support group and stuff like that. So I just want to know like what inspired you to create that. Maybe also tell me like some impacts that you witnessed since creating that.
So Tyndale St. George's reached out to me. Again, why me? Like I don't know, but they're like, there's all these mothers groups and this and that, and we wanted to start a fathers group. And as they said it, I was like, yeah, I'm in. Didn't even know where it was going. It was just that from when us growing up, us like we were fortunate. I had both my parents, but so many of my friends had single households. Mom, deuce, all that. So when I look at half of my friends and like, you're a real father. You're not a part-time father. You're not just going and giving the BMs like some money and saying that. No, you got your kids, like, and when I put it out that I'm gonna start this father, it was like bing, 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 bing. Yeah, I'm coming. I was like, oh,
wow,
all right, that's what's up. Like so, when we got together, it was just supposed to be like, we're gonna share our collective stories on no judgment. So you got a problem, whatever it is, we're not problem solvers. But if you can say something, and I can say something that might make you come together. That's what it started. So we call it the Fathers Group. We just started doing our things, and then we said, you know what? Let's start playing some ball. Like let's get in shape. Like let's do some things. So every Tuesday we're at Tyndale. We play ball. We'll get in shape. Then at the end we'll sit around and we'll start kicking it. Awesome. No pre-planned subject. No nothing. Like it could be sports. It could be politics. It could be. What you see that dance hall competition? It could be anything. But I'm not even gonna call no names, even though I know he wouldn't mind us not. But one of the members came to me and really said, "Yo, Shams, thank you. Thank you. Like I needed this, like because I was going through the depression and not him even just coming and saying what was wrong with him, but
he's going through it.
He was going through it, and me and him had some one-on-ones where I'm like, yo, I'm not whatever, but I had this experience. Yo, he had this experience, and when he said thank you, I think that just was gratifying enough for me for the whole program. Just one person saying thank you, like
that's all it is.
It shows that. And as a group now, like we're playing ball, and when I tell you, there's not one argument. There's not over the score. You know how ball can get between freaking park and you want to be a game point fucking foul. No. Here it's just all about
the court basketball is a different league over there.
Again, that's another. I should have even said that. Not just United. The court all over the place, but that court before it used to be on Liner Group. Used to be on Liner Group and George Vanny. That's where the original court was. When I tell you that,
Liner Group and George Vanny.
You see where that little park is? You see where that little park is right there? You go down George Vanny, you make the right on Liner Group. There's all the houses there. Across from
okay.
That's new shit. When I mean new, that was the court. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rims. On that friggin' court before they made the court in Campbell. See,
wow.
Oh, now they're calling it Oliver Jones or Oscar Peterson,
but it was Campbell
Park.
Campbell.
It's Campbell.
They had that court over there, and then it came over there. That court, if you want to see ball in that court, then it came over there. They made a nice court with the red, and we were all happy with it. That was it. But the real ball started NCC, and when that was closed, we went to Lionel Group. It was
like
the shit.
Lionel Grew and George Daniel.
Yeah, you know, because you see the park,
if we
the
leave
boxing
them
Like
gym.
down Goonie Street.
If you walk from your old house, you
Yes,
come out your
down
house.
Goonie
If you come
Street,
out your house
and you go
and
left.
walk right, you come out your house.
Wait.
Come out your not the back door, the front door. You come out the little. You walk right.
Where mom used to
you're talking
live?
about the first, the coming to my front
Next to
door.
where mom used to live?
No,
Where
big
the
building?
Principal
Yeah.
Gun?
Right across
no,
there.
like if
Right across from there, in the back of there.
Oh, where So used to live.
Right
Right
in
behind
the
Soso's house.
okay,
That's
okay,
where
okay.
he's
Oh.
talking about.
Yeah.
There was a boxing gym there. I think there's a community center there now, but there was a boxing gym there first.
Okay.
And it was in the back there was a court.
Okay.
Like, yeah, that's where the balling started. Like,
Yeah.
and then they moved to Campbell Park, and then the balling just got intense. Like intense.
Yeah.
Okay. So, first off, you keep saying, I don't know why me. I don't know why me. But like in my head, I'm like, why not you? Because you are one of the people who, you know, despite everything that happened in your past, and you know, like everyone has their own history or whatever, and it's no secret, but you are one of the very few out of, let's be real, out of everyone who got arrested,
Yeah.
you're one of the very few who actually got out.
Yeah.
For real. Not, oh, I'm getting out and still doing. You got out.
And
You got a job. Let's
Yeah.
start there. You got a job.
Mhm.
You have to put your ego aside. You went from making a lot of money to a basic minimum wage job.
Straight facts.
You know what I mean? So it's like that right there in itself is commendable just because
Very.
some people can't do that. Some people, I see it, my friend, like
yeah.
some people can't
Who we
leave
grew
the
up with,
streets
people we grew
alone.
up with,
Exactly.
yeah.
Who we grew up with, and even people that, you know, was in that situation, like they couldn't leave the game because that's some people, that is all they know. And that
Yeah,
is all.
It is.
Again, can't say couldn't.
Well, you
don't
could
want
always,
to.
you always
You
have
don't want
choice.
to.
You
You don't
always
want
have a
to.
choice.
You don't
know,
want.
you
Yeah.
know, I am famous for
You always have a
saying
choice.
that. Like that's my slogan.
They didn't
like,
want to.
They didn't want
Because
to.
Yeah.
some people are just
That's
comfortable
it,
and that
because
they don't want to
shit.
build new habits and they don't want to.
No such thing as can't.
There's
I
one.
don't think it's also like they don't want to build new habits and they don't want to do. I think it goes back to what we're saying, that a lot of people are a product of their environment.
Yeah.
So when
Facts,
you talk
facts.
on the people that got arrested with him, if you actually think about it, look at what their parents were doing. Some of them didn't even have parents, and some of them parents were doing exactly what they're
Exactly,
doing right
yeah.
now.
Which
Like, or
makes
what
sense,
they
yeah.
were doing back then. You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
Yeah.
it's like, even think about it. Some people did leave, and they were like, "Oh, I'm going to leave," and they went to go get that 9 to 5
Yeah.
job,
And it
they
didn't
were
work.
making that money.
Yeah.
And then shit happened. They're like, "Fuck that."
They
Like,
gotta do. They need the money.
Yeah.
Like, but I get
Right.
it. But you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And me, I'm never gonna knock
Mhm.
somebody for what they're doing.
Absolutely.
I will not be that hypocrite. I will not judge you unless you're up there beating women.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Doing
saying? Like,
something
heinous. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not down with that shit. But at the end of the day,
Mhm.
I can't. If you're my friend and then I find out that you're beating your woman every day,
Mhm.
I can't just not like you.
Mhm.
But I'm not gonna like the shit that
That
you're
you're
You
doing.
do. Yeah.
You understand? So
Yeah.
to make me
Yeah.
just have a different aspect on you.
Mhm.
But I would never judge what you're doing. My father would say, "Yo, you can do what you're doing. Just make sure you're doing it the best that you can do it. I'm
Absolutely.
not gonna
Facts.
be proud of you
Mhm.
selling dope, but make sure you're smart. Make sure you
Yeah.
you have your P's and Q's and
Absolutely.
just don't get caught." But you know, like it's like, again, we're all a product of our environment. So when and I don't, not that it was different, but me, my family being married might have have
Impacted that.
a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because coming out and hearing like, "Yo, all right, I rode by you this whole bit. You think I'm doing it twice?"
Yeah. Facts.
Nah, Virgin,
facts.
nah, all right.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
That's beautiful.
Done.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my wife wrote, like, you know how many my niggas I seen lose their woman, their girlfriends, their whatever it was, the baby gone. Like, "Hey, yo, you're doing what? 2-3 years? See
Bye.
ya."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gone instantly. like instantly. Come visit you once.
Yeah, that's it.
Next visit, you're like, "Yo, she didn't show up." You know what I'm saying? But
Gonzo.
like, so just in that aspect of respect of the love for my family, stood by me for this, and after disappointing them doing that shit, go back and do it again.
Yeah.
One shame on
It's
them,
not
twice
worth it.
shame on you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
That's how it
Fuck
goes.
it. So, like you said, you took your family in consideration. So, okay, this is not in a.
No,
this is the most respectable way. Okay.
Let it. Oh.
How did it make you feel coming out, and not being the main breadwinner?
Like any man would feel, like it crushed me. It I wouldn't say it's humiliating, because at the same time, right, when you're married, you take that
Your
oath
union.
to help your others when they're down or whatever. But being the alpha male that I am,
And Libra.
It was like, nah, I can't do that. And I'll be straight. I could tell you, coming out, and I came out February 4th, 2008. No,
You didn't give up
2011. Sorry, I got arrested 2008.
Yeah.
2011 came out
May 28th.
That December, I didn't have no money for Christmas gifts. It's Michelle, from mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? So that was like, oh fuck. And believe you me, temptation was there, because my niggas are still doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? Still making their bread, but bread, family.
Yeah, especially when you have a partner like the one.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'll stay broke before I go back to the streets. But I'm not even. That's just a comparison. But me, I'll go and work at McDonald's if I have to, just to contribute. But that's what made me. That's funny. It made me start thinking of side hustles without selling drugs.
Absolutely.
If I can hustle and sell drugs, I should be able to hustle and do something else.
Yeah.
Instead of throwing parties.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and don't get it twisted. Don't think there's all kind of bread and party, but it's soothing knowing that you're doing something positive where she can be like, look at my dad.
Absolutely.
He's not selling drugs no more.
He's doing something.
Yeah.
Doing something where my son can look at it and like he can look at, why is this guy getting that love? Because he gave love and now he's doing the right thing. Yeah. Like, it's not that hard to do the right thing. And again, I'm not knocking nobody who's hustling, because hustling, it was like, if I didn't go to jail, would I be this person today? Who knows? Probably
Absolutely.
Not.
That's so true. Everything for a reason.
It's like everything happened for a reason.
Absolutely.
Everything, like I'm good. Don't get it twisted in these words, but I'm happy I went to jail.
Absolutely.
To discover myself, discover what's more important. Yeah. You guys don't know what it is.
Trust me.
To not drink out of a glass cup for 3 years, not use a metal fork for 3 years, not open a window for 3 years.
I watched my mom, been there for my mom her whole 5 bit, and she's there talking about she's using toothpaste as gel. I said,
what?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like the things that like she's there, but
niggas were using.
They're so creative though. I'm not gonna lie. They are the most creative niggas out there.
Niggas who had long hair, because condoms were free, were taking the condoms off of the fuck and using it as elastics. Like,
that's crazy.
If you see the shit I see in jail, like people just make, and the creativity is like you're a waste of talent being in here. You know how much talented, intellectual
but
people
they're just so stuck in that same circle, like same thing. Of course, it's exactly. You're institutionalized.
Institutionalized. No, I like it. I had to tell my mom one time, like, cause she did 5 years, and there was at one point, like, I was just talking to her for a minute, and I'd be like, I really don't want you to take this the wrong way, but like, you're starting to sound institutionalized.
Because you see. The thing about your mom, right, is that the person that she is, she's very, very smart. So that bid, you know how much shit she learned?
Absolutely.
Besides of being smart as is. No. So her experience just in the life that she, like, our life is, you know how we grew up. We've seen so much shit. So for your mom to go through the shit and then come out and then doing her thing, focusing on rehabilitating herself and other people inside and telling her story. Yeah. Come on, man. You have to commend that.
The amount of people that call my phone for her, like even when she was still inside, just to be like the things that your mom did for me, and like just hearing the love from random people, like
it's just you only get the love that you put out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You get way more hate.
Yeah.
But the love that you put out, the genuine love that you receive, you feel it. that person's gonna call you and be like, "Hey, Lena, what's up?" Nothing. What do you want? Nothing. I'm just calling to say what's up.
Yeah.
Those are the people who like my boy Nash. We've been friends for. I'm 50. We've been friends for 40 to 41, 42 years. 42 years. We were in grade 3, grade 2. It came in halfway to grade 2, grade 3. We've been friends since. He is not disrespecting nobody. And Chopper, shout out Chopper. He is the only one calls me. Hello? Yo, just checking in. Just checking in. I haven't heard you for a couple of days. Just checking in.
Yeah.
That is what you want.
Absolutely.
You don't want nobody calling, hey, what's up? How you doing, beautiful? You know right away, like,
What do you want?
What do you want? You want? Like, I know. This one comes downstairs. Hi. Any other time, it's father. It's father. Hey, father. Hey, father. Hi, daddy. Oh, what do you want? You know, they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's just them genuine people in your life. You gotta cherish and respect.
Absolutely.
Like.
You know, I'm big on cherishing genuine relationships.
Yeah.
So, staying on the topic of marriage a little bit, you have been married for what, 25 years now?
July 15th.
It's March July 15th.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You know, people don't stay married that long anymore. So, what would your secret to maintaining this long-lasting relationship be?
Secret?
Or advice.
And it took me a while. Because as she will tell you, I have a bad temper. Like little shit irks me sometimes. Like, and I know it. I don't always read, but I get like sometimes loud for
flustered.
Like my dad.
You know? But I think learning honesty, learning to listen.
Yeah.
I heard you. But I never really listened.
Yeah.
I think that's what longevity will be, because once, and it goes both ways, once you really understand what makes her happy and what doesn't, you know, because sometimes you can be doing something you don't even realize that you're not even, like, it's bothering her, or it's what you think is not, but it goes both ways too. But it's just learning to listen. I think, you know, everything else comes with, and we're lucky, both of us work, so I'm not calling your mother every day and like, hey babe, what are you doing? And then you go home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I was inside, I was like, you know what? Call her once every second day. You know, babe, I'm not calling you every day no more. One, I can't take you asking me, okay, did you hear anything? Is there anything going on? Okay, what the lawyer say? No, but just to hear the disappointment in your voice, the sadness, I'm not going to call you every day. We're just going to, so when I do call you, I can call you and talk to you for 20 minutes. Exactly. Okay, so how the kids, how did it, what happened? But if I call you every day, so even outside, it's like, I'm not going to call you when I'm at work.
Yeah.
Like when I'm going out and chilling with her, I'm not going to call you. When we go home, we can talk. Like whatever needs to be talking. But the communication is there now, as opposed to me being on the street 24/7 selling drugs and mad at the fiend and taking it on the family or whatever the case is. Like the environment's different too, so it makes it more easier. And it, like, the money's good with drugs. Nobody can deny that. But the fear of exactly what happened, of the door getting kicked in, she was not down with that, like at all. So I think she had more respect for me being, but it's not like I just was selling drugs my whole life. Own a barbershop, do whatever.
Absolutely.
You know, so the transition from going to work every day to selling dope now full time, like, you know, so going back to the respect came more, and I think me going to jail bit us closer together, like made me realize, like, like you know, I got a real one down for me, like so. Yeah, I think that made it not easy, but made their marriage.
That's a big one though. Listening is very big, because communication is everything, and that's a part of communication, right? So maybe just feeding off of that, besides listening, like with our generation now and just society now, like especially with, like, you know, kids our age, like relationships don't last long, right? Like everybody's like not genuine. They're not down. Like your one little thing, oh, I'm out. This little thing, I'm out. Oh, this
You know
little thing,
why?
you're out.
You know why? Because your generation, no disrespect to y'all, is so fucking materialistic.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
Not
what would your
everyone,
advice?
though.
Not everybody.
everyone.
No. Not everybody. When I say the generation, but okay.
Jen had to be like, no, but
no. You know why I say that? No, but again, but you're an independent woman. You
Yeah.
always
Not
been from
all
I
of us
know
are.
you
Yeah.
from you were
Yeah.
a kid. You've been an independent woman. But it's like I feel like in this generation, the man is just with all the social media and all of the man is just supposedly has to pay for the date.
Everything.
Yeah,
Has
I
to
don't
pay
like
for
that.
you.
I
Has
don't
to
really
do.
like that. That's
Where
not
is
my
the
vibe.
chivalry again?
Yeah.
If I can open a door for you,
Where is the chivalry?
That's
There's
what
no
I'm
more
It's gone,
chivalry.
right?
It's
It's
not there.
gone.
It's
Because men
non-existent.
are acting like the princesses.
right? And
Yeah.
this is the problem with the generation. Like, and no disrespect to nobody, but if a man is dressing more feminine than you, he might be looking for more feminine activities than you.
Yeah.
So you might want you to open the door for him now and be sitting out there.
Fuck
and
it,
all
fuck
of this shit.
Fuck
Like,
it.
fuck that. Like, nah. And I think that's what's missing from you guys' generation. The old school man, like just being a nice guy, and then coming to the new generation of I don't have to pay for the date every time.
Yeah, that's annoying.
How
I
about
don't
you
like that. I
guys?
don't
You know what?
I'm not
Would-
really down with that.
Why?
You got- no, but I mean, you don't always have to pay. Like you said,
Oh, okay. I thought
No,
you
I agree,
exactly.
I agree.
Okay.
You don't always
So-
have to pay for my shit.
so
I
why
can pay for
can't-
my shit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But,
Like,
and it's not no disrespect to see who's out, but just in the fact that why can't you call and say, hey, would you like to go on a date? Would you like
yeah,
to?
no, I think
Like,
it's
what-
weird.
and I think that's
I don't
where
know.
relationships aren't going to go further because it's always you waiting for that you per se.
Yeah.
You waiting for that Mr. Right to come along when you're not getting opportunity.
Yeah,
Like you doors are all there. If you don't open the door to see what's there, how could you just wait and wait and wait and wait? No, I need him to buy me a pair of shoes. Oh no, he ain't. If he ain't buying me a freaking drink at the bar, I ain't.
I don't know
That's
niggas about to
right.
fucking drink.
But that dude, right? Who's sitting there? You see, no woman's talking to him. He ain't talking to no woman. He's sitting there dancing by himself. Why is it so wrong for you? Hey, can I buy you a drink?
Mm.
No, I'm just saying, is it wrong?
No, there's. I don't think there's anything.
I
wrong
would
with it,
pay
but
for
I
a
don't
day,
know.
but I'm sorry, I'm not buying you a drink at the bar.
Why
I
not?
will. I think that's just my ego. I'm not gonna lie, that's my ego. I would pay for a date. I would go on a date. I'll pay
But
for
if
the
you
whole
pay
meal.
for a date, why
No,
won't you buy a
I'm
drink
not.
at
I'm
the
not
bar?
picking you up at the bar. I'm
That's
not
crazy.
saying
No,
can I
no,
buy
but
you
I
a drink.
think too,
I-
like,
Okay.
That's a little-
Even okay, that might be a little,
That's a
but-
little weird.
Okay.
Yeah,
hey,
that's.
can I buy
Wait,
you?
let's ask
hey.
them. Can you drop a comment if you as a female would buy if you would go up to a man at a bar and offer
buy
to
them a
him
drink?
Or see a man and offer to go have a coffee at Starbucks.
That's
Okay,
different,
that's
but that's
different.
different. I could
Like
do
I
that.
said now, so now I'm like, there's two different standards from the bar to the coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like, can I take you to a movie? Why is it that a woman is afraid and to approach that man? And this, I'm just talking about the new generation. Like, afraid to approach the man in the
But
romantic
I don't
way.
even think it's that. I think it's just like the way social media is now. It's like, get that nigga to pay for you. He gotta buy your plane ticket. He gotta pay for your
Right,
jobs. It's like
right,
none of you
right,
girls are independent. and
Right?
I just
So
find it weird.
now when you pay for
I
your
don't
plane
know.
ticket, you come over there, you don't give him no ass now, and he doesn't pay for your plane ticket back. He's the wrong nigga?
Go up.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I just find it's weird. It's like, why didn't he pay for your plane ticket? Because I can pay for my own shit. I don't
Okay,
need no
okay,
fucking
Exactly.
but-
Exactly.
Okay,
Like,
but
like it's weird.
okay, but say for example, right? In some, I won't say everywhere, but I'll say certain stereotypes or certain old school, like the old way of thinking for certain people. I won't say just in Canada, but certain America or whatever. It's like the man is the alpha male, and I feel like the woman is supposed to cook, clean, and do all that.
Certain role.
But now we're in a generation where
Whoa,
the whole
clean, but go ahead.
Yeah,
the
that's-
whole
yeah,
like
yeah.
50-50s coming up and all this stuff is coming up. So it's
I
just
don't
like,
know.
do you think it's like, yes, social media plays a part, but do you also feel like it goes with what they seen? Because if I grew up seeing
Well-
my dad buy everything for my mother and my mom not ever lifting a finger after ever paying for a
So
bill,
now you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
look for
expect
a
that.
man
That's what I'm
to
gonna
do the
expect,
same.
right?
Exactly.
It's not just about
100%.
social media.
But
Because if
it's
I seen you
also-
treating
it's
my
also
mom like
culture
that,
too, It's also
yeah,
culture.
it's also culture. Yeah,
It's also
It
culture.
is culture, yeah.
Because there's still African cultures where you still got to go give the father 30 goats.
Yeah,
to get
and you
the
have to do
bride.
the dowry, and you have
You
to
know what I'm
pay.
saying?
cultures too that
Yeah.
are the same
Exactly.
way.
There's still
Muslim
different
cultures are the
cultures.
same
So,
way.
but at the same time, it's just the generation, today's generation, I think, is just a scared to go back into the old school way, but just to reverse and just approach
Yeah.
the other,
Yeah.
whether it's you a girl on girl, a guy on girl, whatever it is, but you gotta can't be afraid to go and explore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna let that right person sitting there walk away.
But I think it
because
goes back
because you're waiting for him
to
to talk to you.
Yeah, yeah.
But
exactly.
I think that like the people that are afraid, right, to go and do the approaching and stuff goes back to the mental, right, of the social media age of like saying changing their way of thinking where because back in the day it was like that. Even if the man's paying this, and this, your woman's still doing the role. I find like now, especially with our generation, you want the man to pay all the bills, and you still
don't want to do
nothing.
nothing. Yeah, and then you don't want to do nothing.
You still don't have a
That's
home
crazy.
cooked meal ready for your man when he gets home from work.
That's a bare minimum. That's
what I'm
that's what
saying.
you should be doing. You want him to pay everything. You got to give something. Like, come on. He's not gonna come home and be sitting there like, "Where's my meal, bro?"
I don't know.
But again, social media portrays that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't
like,
see that.
but
I don't know. It's too
I see 50-50 at home. I see my
crazy.
dad cook. I see my mom cook. I see my dad clean.
Yeah.
I see my mom clean.
But
so
like for me, I think I grew up in Asia. Like my grandparents, they've been together for almost 50 years, right? So it's like I've seen the dynamic where it was like my grandfather took care of everything and my grandmother made sure that everything else in the house was done. But then I also seen where she's contributing to the bills and she's having a job and all that stuff, but she's still coming home to make sure her husband's fed, you know?
But to that point, in the Jamaican culture,
I feel like
there's so many men that cook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Jamaica, men cook in that Jamaican culture. So sometimes it's like he's cooking for his wife coming home.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not recognized.
It's just not all the time.
Not all the time. But like, you know, like it's just a stereotype where the woman shouldn't, the wife, the girlfriend shouldn't have to cook to please him.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, what's wrong with the man cooking for when she comes home?
Yeah,
you know,
there's always reverse roles. You know?
Yeah.
I find there's reverse.
And
I just find like it's so hard dating now. Like, you know, especially like I feel for me, like I've always wanted, like growing up, to have that. Like somebody I grew up with, like, oh, I met you at 20 years old. And,
can I ask you guys a question? Or ask all of you?
Yeah.
Because all you guys are the same generation. Do you want what your parents have, or do you still want to go search for yourself? Like, are you like you say your sister says, "Oh, I always want what you and mommy have."
No.
Or do you like? Are you guys looking because you see Heather and Kennedy together so long? Is that the only thing that like you have to have that, or you're gonna let your own experience?
I want my own experience.
I want my own experience.
Yeah, I want my
I
own
feel
experience.
like
because you know what they say, the girls look for a
man
like
I do
father.
want someone like my dad. I do, and I feel like my dad is very similar to someone like you. You guys are strong-willed men. You guys are very like focused. You guys are you're like a product of your environment, but you're not the same. Like you're not what your environment like gave to you. You guys try to evolve and everything like that. A lot of
people don't know.
You guys
changed from that life to what he is now. Like
so it's like I always want that, but like I feel like I want to find that, but like somewhere else. But like also at the same time, I don't want because I'm so used to being from Burgundy. But like I don't know anyone else from like outside. Yeah, like I don't want it to be somebody from Burgundy, but I want someone to be strong-willed like that. You know what I mean?
You want
like,
certain qualities.
I want certain qualities of a strong man. You know what I mean?
For me, it's just like the qualities as a man. Yeah. There's certain things that I've seen you do as a man that's where, you know, I would like my partner to have. But I won't say, oh, like you guys have such an age gap. Okay, you and mom have such an age gap already, right? So it's just like
it's not that big.
It's not.
It's not. But they got married young too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But to a certain extent. But it comes back. I just remember what you said about why does our marriage work. Again, we're both from birth.
Yeah. That's
so right there. It gives you.
It's true. It gives you a little one of you guys understand where you guys come
where
from.
I'm doing.
My mom and dad are
I'm
different, you know, because my mom's from the South Shore, my dad's from Burgundy.
You understand?
In the beginning, they didn't understand each other because my mom comes from it's a different culture. You know, she's sheltered. He wasn't sheltered. He had a different experience. You know, so him being experienced to a West Indian family from the South Shore. It's like, whoa, it's a culture shock, you know?
Though.
But for sure.
I feel like having something different house because sometimes when you guys are both you guys are too comfortable to do certain things because you guys are both in the same place.
Yeah.
But there's no outside.
Yeah.
Like some people, like, you know what I mean? Like if I'm dating someone, whatever, from outside, they might have a different view on certain things than people from the hood have. You know what I mean? Some people, not saying that everyone is like that, but some people are also very narrow-minded, and some people don't look out, and some people don't travel, and having that different type of person.
You're right.
A perfect example, just smoking weed. Are in the hood, like, knowing that your kid's smoking weed, it's more expected.
Yeah.
Thankful.
You know what I'm saying? Thankful that you up there doing all of your So, like, with my kids, like, when I was inside when I found out Savannah was smoking, lost my mind. What are you doing? 16.
I remember I was with her that day.
Let me tell you how she checked me. You know what she said?
Yeah.
Well, Daddy, I'm your daughter. Listen to me. That checking was so severe. All right, listen, Savannah. You don't smoke joints. You don't see rolled. And
Yeah.
That's how it goes. You have to be.
I remember that day.
I had to get checked by my own daughter, but because I don't know why. Like now, I'm thinking, but I don't know why I was so mad because you always want the best for your kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you look at it, your grandfather smokes, your father smokes.
You'd be a hypocrite.
My grandfather's blow weed in my face as a baby. So
like you were around. Listen, Lena, you don't know how much weed you were around as a fucking baby. Like you were a kid, like this big, and Lena, boy. It was crazy. Like,
so sad.
Like you don't understand. Right? So it's just like I know my son's smoking.
Oh my God, he smokes.
We all do. My mom is in denial. My mom is so in denial.
I know, but I don't want to believe it.
I don't want to believe it too, China. Trust me, I don't want to believe it too. But like
I've been known.
You know, like he still hasn't he's not.
That's crazy.
He's not gonna come to me.
Yeah.
You know, and it just
because of how mommy reacts.
But how mommy reacts, but it just.
That's
he knows it's not time yet.
Yeah.
I guarantee when he turns, his sisters know, but by the time he's 18, he'll go in that room. He's going to light up and he's going to say, Dad, I'm 18. I say, I know. Yeah. And I'm going to whatever. But
that's what Deja did. That's what everyone did once they turned 18.
Oh my God, they're just so sweet.
In the house, in my mom and dad's house, it's a goal to get to the front room.
It's so sad. I'm so sorry. That's so ghetto.
Yeah, I know the front room.
Right?
I know the front room. Yeah.
16, 15, they're all smoking. We're all in the room.
Disclaimer, my grandparents' house, they have a front room where everyone smokes. Like that's the smoking room. It's my grandfather's room. It's the smoking room. So the goal, like everyone, as all the cousins and younger, you're waiting till you're 18 so you can go smoke out with everybody.
Standing by the door. You see when they're 18 and Deja walked into the door and she could smoke.
That is crazy.
It's just it's
Jaquan's next. Everyone hit it. Jaquan's the only one that's next.
No, and King.
Oh, and King, yeah.
So it's not frowned upon. It's weed. You know what I'm saying? We grew up in our culture where it's not a drug, basically. But I don't want Jaquan smoking at 15, 13, 14. I don't want her smoking at 13, 14, 15. Well, and I'm not even like, if anybody would smoke, I'd rather be her because I know she's intelligent. She had a head on her shoulders, and she's smart. I know she would have been able to handle, like she's a product of me and a female version. That's how I look at her.
You guys are the same person, but you know.
So the smoking, but there's certain kids out there you see 14, 15 lighting up who you know they can't even read or write. But then there's certain 15-year-olds who you know who are ready for college who are smoking. So I'm not going to knock it and then say, "Oh, what's good for the goose and not good for the gander."
Yeah,
we all smoke fucking weed, so it's in our. I want to say it's part of our culture now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to this, but I'm not smoking a joint with my son until he's 18.
Absolutely.
Like I did her, or I did Savannah.
I was late for everything. I was so late. I didn't come around for a while.
And call me fucked up. But I was so happy to smoke a joint with my daughters. Like now that they're legal age, and you know, like we have that bond now. Like shit, like I'm smoking with my daughter. Like I still look at it sometimes. Shit, I got a 30-year-old, a 26-year-old, like who I can fuck with, like who I chill with, who I can have a conversation.
Things on the phone too.
Hey, I seen the last episode.
Like,
well, to answer your question about,
like,
I can't believe you brought it up, but whatever. Like, who does that? Like,
she threw you out there.
Yo, like, when I watched him, like,
so, I know she didn't.
She did not just say what I just told her. Like, and 100% factual. I did tell her, go make me a grandfather, but whatever.
But to go back on your question that you asked, to answer your question about like, do we want what we've seen for our parents? I think for me, like,
or your grandparents, or
yeah, I think it's opposite for them. So it's just like, I want that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, in the sense of like, I don't want to go through what my grandmother went through. In the sense of like dealing with a lot of the fuckery that my grandfather put her through, because
my godmother was a gangster. I'm just letting you know.
I only found out some shit recently. You weren't playing around.
And you know what? Not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but I always said Monica is the poster was the poster woman for an ideal wife. Don't gotta be the best person. Don't gotta be the most liked. But when it comes to wife, she went through so much trials and tribulations, and still to her dying day was beside her husband.
Absolutely.
Like
she waited for that man to come home.
It was like she seen him go from crackhead to pillar. Like and to endure that. I don't know if you guys know what kind of struggle that is, to live with a man you love who's a crackhead.
Yeah, like she would tell me, like she would have to hide the laundry soap because
he would go and steal it and sell it.
Yeah, just to get crack.
Baby food. Yeah, like
you don't even.
You guys really don't like.
You don't
see the movies that you guys see on TV of people going to sell the last. This was reality in Burgundy. Like it was. Families got broken up, and those who
giving me goosebumps.
Those who stuck it out and stood by their man, like it was.
Wow.
My father got busted for selling weed. My mother was there. Like it just. We had a lot of that Q block where we all lived. Oh my gosh, it was. Like that made. That's why there's so many strong black women in Burgundy from Burgundy. Like.
Shout out to all the strong.
Like all of them women who used to open them door when Batman and Robin was chasing us, and they come in here and hide. It was incredible. Monica was one of them. Frances was one of them. Joy Richards, happy birthday, Joy, was one of them.
Happy birthday.
Like these are women, Sonia. Like these are women who fought for us. Kelly Thompson. Like these are women who
shout out to Kelly.
Fought for us. Like protected us.
Yeah.
Like there's. Man, birds.
To be a fly on the wall.
I
just look at pictures sometimes. I'm like, I wish I was there. I want to know so bad what happened.
I'm talking about my generation. Then there's your dad's generation who made it easy for my generation.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You understand?
I was just showing Jay Sean the other day. I was like, I don't know what happened in this picture, but something happened.
The one you posted there with all the Rickety and all
I
of them?
was like, that is like an iconic picture. I don't know what happened that night, but I know things are happening. Stuff happened. Like that night was crazy. Like I know my grandmother had no control.
You see your
grandmother. My grandmother, she
your father's house, your grandmother's house, the Jacksons.
Yeah, not the Jacksons.
No, my grandmother put a lot up with a lot of shit.
There's no other house in Burgundy ever that was called the.
It was
You're not hearing me.
It was my grandmother.
That house was the Jays, the Jacksons. That was
774.
Listen. We are all adult. We're all changed life.
Absolutely.
But so we could talk about certain things. that house sold so much fucking cocaine.
Yeah.
In the
Crack,
80s.
everything.
Like,
it's bad.
like it's incredible. And this is why you think I make a change? Like, it's not me. It's me seeing people do these things.
Yeah.
When I see Kennedy Jackson, who was on that street, and now, like, stop doing that and open up a barbershop. Like, a lot of people, it's not just Trevor and Dean Smith who gave me a job. It's Trevor, Dean, and Kennedy Jackson who started Ebony and Ivory. Like, these are the guys who gave me my first job at 14 years old.
I know that's right.
Cutting hair. Trying to change that narrative of not giving you a pack, giving you a job.
Absolutely.
There's different, like, so, like, that's why when I see your dad, you see the love that we have with each other, like, it's genuine. Like, and for me, like, you don't understand. Like, sometimes when I look, like, just coming here is such an honor because, one, like
trying to fix my cards.
Like, your dad, well, my godmother, my godfather, your grandparents, like, these are people who, like, are pillar. Like, they call me Mr. Berg, but there's no Mr. Berg without Kennedy Jackson, without Roy Haynes, without Monica Haynes. Yeah. There's none of these things existing without these people.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm all, and I think that's why I get that love because I show all my older heads and peers that it's not me. Like, my shirt in that hood, I did the interview on CBC. What's your best picture? Is this one, Bergs, because it represents all of us. Yeah. Not me. All of us. So whoever screams out Bergs, like, we're representing each other. Like, it's just, and them guys who made it possible. Not just even the ones that, my father and all of these guys who were getting called nigger. Spencer, who like, these guys who were getting
all their heads
crossing the bridge, going to point, going to St. Henry when you weren't allowed. These guys, my father talks in the documentary in the hood, getting beat by the police.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for these things happening, there'd be no us, there'd be none of us.
Yeah,
like so you got to shout out. I'm gonna shout out y'all.
Shout out to you.
Cheers to the OGs.
OGs.
The Francis Lees and
I was just talking about her too.
The Jessie Smith, like she got a park name after.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for these women, man, like Barbara, Kelly's mom, Miss Thompson, like these, like oh my gosh, man.
Yeah.
And like, just on a note, June 28th, we're doing our first honorary Burgundy Gala at the Union United Church. Get your tickets now. You can hit me up 514-576-7426, or you can hit up Charlene. We have the flyers. Oh, it's our first Burgundy Gala. We are honoring all of our recipients are from Burgundy, and we're giving them their flowers while they're still alive. So
that's beautiful.
Check us out.
Okay.
Tickets are $30, and you get a meal with that. So
more
info to come. Check my page, Shamba, Facebook, and
we'll drop it.
We'll put it in the description for you guys. But again, that's
Instagram, I love that.
Entertainment, you know, like there's so many people who deserve the flowers that who should have got the flowers before they left. We're trying to start this thing where it's United. Another company I can't remember because I'm lit, but we're all coming collective to give Burgundy. So you know, we got a couple of youngins, a couple of old heads. Like, you know, we got Trevor, we got Wayne. We're doing people. This is what I love about Burgundy. They always want to give the Oscar Petersons and all of these celebrities, but they always forget about the Simons.
Oh my God, Simon,
the Fitz.
Yes,
these are the people who are honoring at the gala. We're honoring
the unsung heroes.
The unsung. You couldn't have said it.
That's beautiful.
That was perfect, China. Those who don't get the recognition for like Fitz.
Oh my God, Fitz been West on for
like,
how long?
He's the
$10 lunch passes.
Literally,
he's the only guy who knows all of the generation 35 and younger.
That's true. That
and
is
he's been there, and he hooked us up. There's times that I didn't have a yearbook. He would go get me a yearbook.
You go get me a yearbook, do my lunch passes
every year.
Just tell me my.
So somebody got into a situation. Somebody got into a situation in high school, right, where a stolen phone got you know, got involved and
I'm
just saying. I'm just saying.
I stole a phone in high school.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying a certain situation. I didn't want. I'm not a rat. I'm not saying. I'm not saying no name. So
she snitched on herself.
Like I said before, I got anger issues, and I came into that.
Oh, is this a Mr. Fally situation? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
okay. You told
she
me.
found out. Like everyone found out.
I'm in rage mode.
Oh yeah.
Like, coming to want to destroy Pebbles, like in the school. Who do you think stopped me? Fitz.
He's the best.
Jason, relax. You're in front of all of these white people. Calm down.
Yeah. And he's been there since like 1970s because my dad told me Fitz was there when my dad was like in
Fitz
elementary.
He's
been there. He never left that place where he is.
He left Westmount though.
He had a heart attack or something like that. Yeah.
You know, Fitz has a pacemaker in his heart for the last, I don't know how many years.
No, he's the best.
He is like this guy. Fitz so when they were asking for nominees, I'm like, yo, people like Fitz, Von Rick, Simon. These are the guys who don't get the recognition who's been in this hood.
No rats in my backyard because Simon cleans every day from 3 to 4. I'm telling you, there's no
from 3 to 4. I get back from Tropicana at night and he's there in the back.
He's in the back 3 in the morning.
So when you're giving all of these guys, the Oscar Petersons and these guys, all of these awards, go into the hood and see who deserves them.
I want to ask, considering you got married younger. Well, now like people don't be getting married at that age. Would you get married at 23?
1974, 84, 94, 20, 26.
26? Oh, my age.
Oh, maybe 25. I turned 26 in October and I got married in July.
Okay. So what would you tell your 21-year-old self?
21-year-old self?
Yeah.
I didn't have no
so
kids
before
then.
married, before kids.
Like, what were you doing at that time?
What would I tell myself?
He had Jerry curls.
Yeah.
You had Jerry curls?
You at the barbershop?
He had Jerry curls. I'm going to add a picture. Oh, no, he didn't have Jerry curls. He had a perm.
Oh, my. No, it was
he had extensions. My bad. He had extensions. He had like the little...
If she has this picture,
I'm adding the picture. He had like little singles.
Like Chris Croc jump.
Yeah, looking like
Exactly.
I see that.
Okay, so sidebar before you answer her question, real quick, just with the extensions. You know, like there's men out there that have dreads, and then they cut their dreads, and then they reattach
them, yeah.
And it's like a sew-in, right?
Shout out Yogi.
Oh no!
Did I say that?
Oh no!
I don't. Yeah. It's my dog.
He doesn't have them in anymore.
And he's slim. You see
he lost.
He's so slim. He's like.
Oh, he lost weight.
No, he lost a lot of weight.
Motherfucker
is. He's in the gym now. He goes to the gym. Yeah. Still waiting for my growth.
Sorry. Okay, go on.
So no, my question is like, how do you feel like as a man going and doing your hair like that? Like, do you think it's a borderline fruity? Do you think it's
what?
Depends on what you're talking about.
Girl, what?
I'm just saying, like
fruity. No, because niggas be so quick to say shit fruity, but then back in the days, people were putting perms in their hair and putting extensions.
Yeah, but that was I feel like that was just a style.
People wouldn't do that.
Like a Jerry curl,
hold on,
like that type of thing. I feel like
okay. So let me ask you guys a question. A man that goes and takes care of himself gets manicures and pedicures. How do you look at him?
Well, that's
as
fine.
long as you're not putting color.
Yeah, color is fine. You're fine. Like if you pull a Jalen Rose, no, you're not putting no fucking black nail polish and walking on matching. No, I'm sorry, it's not. That's not cute. I'm sorry, but you can do like a manicure, get the little wax and gel thing. That's fine. You can keep yourself coiffed, but you're not. Yeah, you're pushing it if you're putting color. I don't give a fuck if it's white, black. No, you're not putting nothing.
Not the gel either. Like I don't want you underneath
glistening. I don't need it to be glistening.
It's so crazy because I just think.
I'm sorry, you're looking a little bit funny.
He just got his nails done and he gets shellacked.
Yeah, you're suspect. You have money. He has money, but he's suspect.
Yes, good. He'd be like, oh
so
my god,
I gotta keep my
pussy fingers clean.
So the guy was out there and he was like, he had his nails painted. So he asked the guy, why do you have your nails painted? He said, because I haven't seen my daughter in 6 years. Mm-hmm. So when me and my daughter were together, she used to paint my nails and we used to play dress up. That's why I paint my nails. Mm-hmm. How would you look at him now?
Was that what Dwayne Wade?
No.
No, but you're suspect. You're weird.
Exactly.
You're suspect. It's one thing if your daughter is like 1 or 2 and she's glossing her nails over.
Right. So
that's one thing. But then
so you're playing daddy. We're playing.
Yeah. And then you're in the system. You come out and you get your.
So now weird, he's saying
you're weird.
He started doing that now
because he hasn't seen it.
I'm sorry. Exactly. You're weird.
I think you're a little fruity, fam.
Yeah, you are. You
I feel like sorry, but I feel
so
like
Drake's fruity.
I don't know.
But does Drake have his nails?
He paints his nails.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Then you're fruity, bro. That's why it's Kendrick all day, bro. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
I didn't say
Kendrick.
that.
I'm telling you, it's Kendrick all day. I'm telling you, it's Kendrick.
I'm just saying it's a little fruit cupish. That's it. Like,
yeah, and if you're fruit cupish, I don't.
You
I'm not going with you. I'm not. I'll drink the juice, but I'll leave the fruits inside the cup. Okay. She said, "I'll drink the juice, but I'm leave the cup. Leave the cup.
And that's how I drink my fruit cups.
Yeah, Lucy.
I leave the cherries. Like,
yeah, leave the cherries inside the maraschino cherries. I don't want that.
I ain't having no 2 cherries like that.
Yeah. No, sorry. Yeah. That's fine. He says.
But no, I do feel like, because I know something.
I'm
like,
sorry.
Where I'm from, like a lot of niggas got dreads,
so it's called.
right?
So it's called metrosexual.
No,
what does that mean?
You're just gay to
you
me.
take care of yourself.
Sorry.
Like Steve Harvey's a metrosexual, I think.
No,
so he goes and grooms himself and maintenance.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just weird. I feel like if you do your nails and you get a manicure, that's fine. But the minute you put some color or if you put black paws like on the shy, I don't know.
So if I came next interview, let's say,
no,
and I had dreads, pause.
It says a man who lives in an urban
I'm
area
not doing that pause shit. Like,
shopping, fashion.
Yeah, no, you got me on pause.
You know,
traditionally associated with a woman or a gay man. That's a metrosexual. So someone who likes fashion.
Okay, the guy on the shy, Emmett's brother, is he gay?
But that's the new episode, so right?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
And
is he gay?
But he says he doesn't have a
so if I came and put on that wig, and I come with
like a Rick James wig?
No, the dreads,
like a lace front,
like the lace front
like
with dreads, and come on. What is that?
I think you're a little fruit cupish.
All right then.
For sure.
So you think people who put on? So you think people who how they have like the fake waves?
Yeah,
you're weird. You're fucking weird.
I feel okay.
What if it's an insecurity thing though?
But that's my point. As a man, like I feel like you should be instilling that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of what you look like, your main like roles or whatever you guys want to call it is to be the provider and the protector. Why are you focusing on your looks like that?
Yeah,
you should be focusing on being the provider and the protector.
Okay.
Well, that's it.
I don't know. I'm not even thinking about that. I'm just thinking about the nail color.
You're
not.
Why can't you be?
I'm not going out with no nigga and he has fucking.
But that's the thing, right?
The provider. Maybe not the protector, but the provider.
I don't mind being the provider in the sense of, let's just say, I wouldn't mind being a breadwinner. But when it comes to me being the breadwinner, you still have to show certain characteristics in the fact of, you know, because sometimes like men feel insecure with the fact that
I was just about to say,
yeah,
you know what's fucked
they're intimidated,
up about,
right?
You know what's fucked up about men?
Yeah.
Is that if you are the breadwinner,
they're intimidated by me.
We are like,
and you start treating them like shit.
Yeah, you're weird.
Right away.
You're weird.
Absolutely. I know that. I've witnessed that, right? Even within my own relationships, looking at other people's relationships, like when the woman is the breadwinner, there's
but when you say breadwinner, does that mean that the man is making less than you or the man is not working at all?
Both.
It could be the one.
It could be both.
But I think it's just
okay. But
I've been in that
I
situation,
like that question
and it's
because
just a conversation. Like I feel
but I like your question though. I like your question.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difference if you're working and if you're not working.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not working, you feel like you have to answer to her beck and call because she is the breadwinner. Because she is taking care of you. But if you're just not making, if you're making 50 and I'm making 35, I can still have some pride.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
but are you not working by choice or are you trying to figure it out, right? Like, are you growing to be somebody? And, you know, it's just that period, like that moment where, hey, I'm the one making the money. I'm the one with the job. Mm-hmm. You're figuring it out. I don't mind supporting you for this moment, right?
Again, in this situation, if you're figuring out or you being lazy and just don't want to work.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that matters. You know what I mean?
But I think even in that moment when you're figuring it out or depending on the type of man that they are, depending on the culture that they come from, depending on their environment, depends how they act in that situation. Because there's some men that even though they're just figuring it out and their woman's there, they're still acting like a dickhead, right? 100%. Because they're upset at the fact that you're in a position that they're not in. Right?
That jealousy. That
envy.
You're low-key jealous.
You grow resentment.
Not low-key.
High-key.
But they would never admit it.
Yeah,
exactly. That pride in being the alpha.
Absolutely. Yeah. So my point is, even with that, is I wouldn't mind being the person that's paying all the bills. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't mind doing that for a nigga that knows that his pride's to the side because he understands we're a union. You know what I'm saying? It's a partnership. So
Okay.
even when it comes to like
but you're only going to be in that situation if he's on the come up. If you're seeing that he's trying, if you're seeing that he's willing, if you're seeing that he's putting in the effort to come up. You're not gonna say that for no bum ass nigga that you know what? She's the breadwinner, but I'm gonna sit back and chill.
Let's just say you're sitting back and you're chilling, right? Because it's like maybe I have something where it's like I go to work for 5 hours and I'm bringing in 6 figures. You know what I'm saying? You may have to work that 8-12 hours to only bring in 40, whatever it is. Yeah. So I could look at you and be like, babe, I got us. But in the sense of like,
now a real man,
no.
A real man will respect that.
Absolutely.
And then contribute what he can. That man will still take you out on a date.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The hate the envious or the jealous man will be miserable. Don't want to go out with you. Don't want to come to the Christmas dinner because he don't want to feel like you're going to show him out when technically you want to show, yo, this is my backbone or whatever.
Yeah. This is what's keeping me thriving right now. You know what I'm saying?
He's thinking another way.
Yeah.
But a lot of men
as a man, 8 out of 10 men might feel like that. But it's that alpha. Or the stereotype that I'm supposed to take care of you.
But that's the thing, right? That's a stereotype that you're supposed to take care of your woman. But then, like you said, in this generation, in the society that we're in, people say that, oh, I should be taking care of you. But then you're still acting like a princess. Like, I'm supposed to come open the door for you. Like, I'm supposed to spoon feed you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just, like, you know, I had a conversation with a man like that too, where it's just like, you want to wear the pants in the relationship but still act like the bitch. Which one is it? Pick one. You get what I'm saying? So it goes back to what I've seen. Like, my grandparents, the way they were, like, when you ask that question, like, oh, what do you want? I think the only reason why I want the marriage in that sense is because I've seen how my grandmother loved her husband, you know? Even when he pissed her off and did everything. Right. I seen her be sick as a dog and still be like, or I'll cook dinner and she'll come in and he pissed her off all day and still be like, did you put a plate of food away for your grandfather?
That's right. Show you how a wife's supposed to be.
Yes, and she showed me that, you know? So it's just like when you ask that question, like, I want that, but I want that for the right man because the right man's deserving.
For the right man and the right reasons.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just so much harder, like we said, dating in the society because you got the females that feel like the niggas are supposed to do everything. 50-50. You got some niggas that feel like, oh, well, you're a gold digger, so what can you do? What do you bring to this table? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And then it's like the ones that are actually like what I was raised to see, where it's like you're the provider, you're the protector. You know that your woman comes here, and you know that as long as your woman's happy, your life's good. That's a very that went from
facts.
This to
you know
what I'm saying?
That is facts.
They're not.
But at the same time, we want to keep our queens happy, but a queen gotta also know that there's a king.
Absolutely.
And if you make your man feel like a king,
absolutely,
he'll treat you as a queen.
Absolutely.
It's true. It's very true.
And it coincides with, as a man, you treat your man good, you treat your woman good, she's gonna make sure her man's good.
Yeah.
Right? So it's
there always has to be like a balance, I feel. Because like absolutely. For example, for me, my mom is my mom can't cook. My mom can't cook, but my mom, I began to understand why my mom.
Everything else
seriously, my mom is she's the bomb. But like the one thing, my mom couldn't cook because all of her teenage years she had a scoliosis, which is what Silken has, a back surgery. So like my mom's back was like really inverted. Like instead of her being straight, she was turned. You know. Yeah. So like all of her high school years, my mom, like instead of all my aunts and uncles, they were all learning how to cook from my grandmother and my grandfather. My mom couldn't do that because she had a back brace. She missed a year of school.
Reason why she couldn't
learned, and she had a back brace. Like she missed a whole year of school because she was really severely, like her back is like 75 degrees. So it was like, this way. That's so she couldn't. So she missed a whole year. So while everyone was learning, my mom was home doing nothing. Exactly. She was doing studies and everything. So my mom's very academic. So like when she met my dad was the one. My dad went to cooking school. He didn't finish, but because there was something happened. My dad was freaking cooking
for meals for every day. We were going to get food from Kennedy.
And he was cooking. So like there's a balance between them. My mom is the cleaner and everything, the organizer. But my dad every day. I know when I go to my mom, and Jay Shell knows, I'm at my mom and dad's house every day after work. I'm not missing. I'm going there every day because I know if I don't have time to cook a meal at home, my dad has a meal, and he'll offer her a meal. No, my dad can't fucking cook it.
I get to the house, Soken or Chana, Giselle, do you want to play? I said,
yeah. Always.
Food's cooking. By the time I get there by 4 o'clock, I'm usually there by 4 o'clock. Food's already done.
Always
Food's cooking.
Always. There's always a meal.
Eating, like, I always know, except for Fridays. Okay, you don't
what you're saying though too, although your mom doesn't cook, she picks up in all the other
she picks up all the
like,
the cleaning, the organized. I can call and be like, "Mommy, I have a shift that did it." She has a calendar and she writes every. China has a shift at the this time to this time. Yeah. Organized. My Kennedy has the organization. He has this appointment. My mom writes it down. She knows where I'm at and the organization works. So like, I feel like balance. Like everything balances
back
up
with the partnership, right? So
there you go.
That's what the long lasting.
32 years.
That's my point,
32
right?
years.
Come on, man.
But they learned how to navigate that between the two of them, and a lot of people don't do that no more.
And don't get it twisted. It ain't no smooth fucking
paved
road.
No.
There's bumps. There's fucking potholes. There's ditches. There's hills. But
I don't know
you
anyone.
Stay on that path.
I totally agree because again, like you said, like I've heard stories and I've seen my grandmother be there for some fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? But my point is that with that is like I've seen that. So it's like I learned from her mistakes as well, right?
Of
I
course.
want that.
Of course.
But you know what not
I
to
want that, and I know what I'm not tolerating.
You know what you're not tolerating.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I know that I will tolerate a lot of fuck shit.
But that's just an old school mentality also. I feel like for them, they put up with a lot of shit because they just did. Like, I see the stories my dad would tell me about my grandmother. I'm like, what do you, like, my grandmother put up with shit from my grandfather and I never met him a day in my life. I'm just like, you put up with that? You weren't even there for your 4 kids. But the old school mentality, you were married to this man and he wasn't even there, and my grandmother busted her ass and did everything. They still didn't have anything, but she busted her ass to do everything. And he had 5 kids with her. Oh, sorry, 4.
One thing about
4 kids with her, you know?
Race, our black women endured so much from slavery days to now. Which why it's a shame to say, which why they put up with so much.
Absolutely.
Which why they will put up with the abuse, or why they put up with the slander of talking to you less than what you are, and why you feel you're supposed to do this for a man, because they've been through so much. But men don't realize it's the old saying behind every fucking great man, there's a great
woman behind him. Yeah.
Like it's just inevitable. Like I remember her not that long ago, but again, keep on going back to this. I don't know why, but I got an award for my community service doing the Santa Claus and all of that things. And I just specifically remember the speech was just thanking everybody, but like without Michelle, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
SGA, he was doing too much.
A little bit too much. But you gotta understand these guys. Like, okay, just in his situation, black man, young, Canadian on top of that, winning the MVP, looking outside in at the white girl.
She's actually
she's mixed.
There's a perception of him thinking
Haley
the
Summers,
white woman or whatever.
It's a white ass name too.
Haley Summers.
Haley
Summers. But she looks like Jay Shell, but like lighter. She looks no. I find she looks like you, but like,
and she looks white on.
But when you straighten your hair, I
still look black.
You do look black, but I'm saying
you're black features. You are black.
You're black.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying she looks more. She looks like
your mother gets more not black than you do.
Yeah, literally.
You don't know, we come in all different shades, but
like my mom. One day, I think that's like one of my
pouring his heart out.
When someone tries to say my mom is white, and I'm like, I'm light, but my mom's not white.
No.
That's how
anyone from Burgundy knows. Even my dad would be like, they're not white. He's like, I know that family from freaking Arthur. They're not white.
This person grew up in Bergs, and this is my blood cousin.
Well, then they're not from Bergs.
This is my blood cousin's sister, but she didn't grow up with her, but she knows my parents, right?
They're not.
So the fact that my own cousin, Jaquez, thought
He didn't
my
know.
own mother, he
That's
actually
know.
didn't know because
you might
again,
not be like,
Asia's
oh, I
mom
know
is
them
white,
from back in the day.
Polish,
No,
right?
they're just
But
light,
was,
like Eileen, light skin. Black
no,
That's
because
like,
my own blood cousin who grew up with us
you told me what
was convinced that my mom was
grandmother
white.
is darker than me.
I see it on Facebook. It's like even my dad says he's like, Foster, I know Foster for like how many years?
Yeah,
they're black.
Yeah, that's
they're
right.
just light skinned black people.
Just because my mom has the straight hair,
and that's fine.
And she's lighter, but
it's so funny because I would never in a million years think that my grandmother has white in her. Like I grew
Monica
up
Chambers, right?
Yeah. But I grew up my whole life. Like my grandma is black. Like I don't know how she got that light in her. But
she used
black,
to watch my grandmother. That is crazy. She used to watch my grandmother. That is scary.
Listen,
that's the last thing she told me. She's like, I used to watch your grandmother Josephine. Back in the day, I was like, really? She's like, yeah, I used to watch her. I was like, that is crazy.
How much your grandmother was? She worked at the Rockets.
She even did and I think, if I'm not mistaken, memory serves me right, she helped start the NCC and she did a mural there and stuff like that.
It wouldn't surprise me because
that was one of her main things that she told me. Even when there was like years ago, I want to say like 2013, there was like an NCC picnic in the park.
Yeah,
but they do that every year. They're kind of following off.
They were doing it every year.
When we did,
right?
Yeah. Did we go together?
Right.
We went together.
Yeah.
So this is why we as
I don't remember that,
the new
but
generation
we gotta keep it going because last year I don't know what was happening. My dad said it sucked. I went there and it was a bunch of people.
This is why I'm so happy for the museum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because
it's really.
You gotta remember, Bergs is us.
Yeah.
But we talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
If we stop talking about it, it's going to seem to exist because of the gentrification. But once there's proof in the museum that we were here, do you know in the museum? I don't know if it's this museum or whatever museum. Before this, there's only 2 or 3 black people in the fucking whole museum.
That's crazy.
Thousands of pictures.
Mm-hmm. We got to keep it going.
Yeah,
we got to keep.
So
it
now
going.
that we're here, thank God we got podcasts. We have this. We have that. Now that could remember us, but we need artifacts like
we do
like the pyramids and all of that. They know that we were here. We were one of the first black communities in Montreal, if not the first in Canada, unless Nova Scotia because of the slave trade that came. But these are
pillars
like in Canada.
Well, we were the first, technically, we were the first black ghetto in Montreal.
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
Yeah,
my dad said,
we were the first.